Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking that. It means a lot to you guys. Keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And I'm not so positive on this season. I know everyone, of course, comes out of the woodwork to talk about how excited they are. Me included, for the past few seasons, I've been the show's biggest fan. If you've seen any of my content, I made hundreds of videos on these past 2 seasons. I've covered them through daily content through the past, really now 2 years, or I guess it's been almost a year, but it's felt like forever because these seasons have been absolutely deplorable. They've had good spots, especially 42, but in the end, both of these seasons fell victim to this new era of Survivor, an era that I'm not a big fan of. And I'm really not there when it comes to having faith in this season. I just don't have it. I'm sorry, I don't. And in this video, I want to give a detailed argument as to why I do not have any faith in this upcoming season. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but this is just how I feel. As always, like, share, subscribe if you're new, because it's free, it's easy, and it really helps the channel out. All right, so I've kind of talked about why I have no faith in this cast in my video, where I kind of quickly go through the whole cast, my favorites, the people who I don't like, and my problem with the cast in the video in the top right corner. So I won't really touch on the cast, but I have to mention, I mean, this casting is nothing special from the looks of it. I feel like this cast is at best average, but it looks to be honestly one of the weaker casts that we've seen, especially in this pregame with the answers we've gotten. I'm only really interested in about 2 people, very similar to like a Ghost Island type of feel, where the cast isn't young like Ghost Island, so it doesn't have that problem. It's very age diverse, but it does seem to have that just like, it's like the cast takes himself too seriously while also not taking the game seriously enough. The cast has this element of not really being fun while also being almost a little bit too fun. On top of that, I feel like this is a type of cast to give control to a player and never take it back. I don't see many blindsides happening from this cast. I think these players are weak, very focused on the physical game. And although that is an important aspect and something that we do need back, we don't need every player to play like Jonathan, or at least want to. I think that's a flaw. And so I think, as much as I don't want to harp on this cast, because I've already done that in past videos, I think it is worth talking about that this cast itself, the casting is just weak on this season. It's weak sauce. Moving on, I would have liked to see a switch to 2 tribes, especially in this new era where the pre-merge dynamics are very cross-tribal and the advantages are very like punishment. So either you can ruin your whole game or make your whole game during the pre-merge, and also going into the merge. I would have liked to see 2 tribes, and so to see 3 tribes again, for me, another disappointment. I would have rather seen a 2 tribes of 10 dynamic, me personally. On top of that, I think that the lack of tribe swaps also makes the pre-merge at least have a possibility for being boring. For example, last season, imagine if there was a tribe swap after that, like Jenny boot, and those last 2 boots of the pre-merge were tribe swap boots, so new boots from new tribes. I would have liked that. I feel like there does come a certain point where the boots start to get boring, and it's just the person who isn't socially connected, i.e. Daniel, i.e. JD from Survivor 41. I feel like to an extent you get to a point where now it's just good characters, good players going out because they're not socially connected, and that's not very fun to watch. It's also not very good for the gameplay of the season looking towards the merge. We also know that the beware advantages are coming back in some shape or form, which I personally really don't like. I think the whole idea of having to have a punishment for finding an advantage is stupid. The punishment is not using it right. The punishment is getting caught with it. The punishment is telling the wrong person about it. There's already punishments there. There's no need to artificially make some and make it even more of a dangerous thing to have in the game. An advantage already has its natural consequences, and I think this is like really like a philosophy for life. You don't have to give consequences. Usually there's natural consequences for your actions. For example, if you're jumping on the bed, you're going to fall off and bump your head, like in the nursery rhyme. It makes perfect sense. I feel like you don't need to say that they lose their vote until the merge. They're already in a tough spot socially with having an advantage in the pre-merge. It's already putting a huge target on their back. Why then take away the only thing in the game that's really valuable to them at that point, and that they can bargain with alliances? On top of that, in general, just taking away votes, they love doing this in this new era. I hate it. I think it's horrible because it takes away the one fundamental thing that everybody has equal. I feel like it's kind of like in the constitution of Survivor. Every man is born equal with one vote. I feel like that's kind of a constant thing. And so for votes to be taken away, it can make a fun boot every once in a while, like the Jenny boot. But I think overall, most of the time, it's made the boots less interesting and strategically has given people less options to flip. Another thing that's confirmed to come back is earning the merge, which I think is so stupid. You earn the merge by playing good in the pre-merge. You get there with your alliances, and from there it's a battle of the individual game. That's earning the merge. Why are you making people who are in a great spot coming in ruin their game essentially and imbalance the game? I think the people who are not socially connected are the people who deserve to suffer at the merge, not people who draw the wrong rock out of a bag. I mean, have I even mentioned the 26 days yet? The most important thing. It's basically Diet Survivor. And with that comes no food because, of course, production with having 26 days felt like they needed to ramp up the difficulty physically of the game. But in doing that, they starve the players and give them no energy to make good content and be good characters. Imagine giving Tony no food. He's not going to be as fun to watch. And so I think that's also a side effect of having no food. It's stupid. It's stupid all around. On top of that, they're announcing the winners on location again and doing that stupid after party, quote unquote, again. I think it's stupid. You're not going to get good responses, especially from those two people who just figured out that they lost $1 million. The Romeo and Mike or the Xander and Deshawn people in those spots. Those people are going to be sitting there shocked. I mean, Mike, Xander, and Deshawn were all perfect examples of this. They sat there in a daze, didn't answer a question, and they were all asked questions, and they just sat there like, oh my God. Especially Mike and Xander. I mean, they sat there just like shocked, like, oh my God, I just wasted all this time for no money. You know, it's better to figure that out way later on in a studio audience with makeup on and you know everybody and you're friends with them and you've gone out with them. And then after the game, you can actually give us some insight into what happened and why you thought you lost in an unbiased and unemotional way. I understand that the whole point is that they're trying to get them with their raw emotions after the game, but one, I think it's kind of cruel, as we've seen with Mike and Xander. And on top of that, I don't think it leads to good TV because it puts them in spots where they have to answer these questions in moments where they just simply don't want to talk. And these are super extroverted people. So for them to not want to talk, it means they're in a very rough spot emotionally. And I don't think it's right to capitalize off of that to maybe get like a funny moment or like an awkward moment where they're just basically about to cry. And you're like, so you were just like basically this close to winning the game and you made this mistake. How do you feel about that? It's just so cruel to me. But what do you think? What's your biggest problem with this new era? I purposely didn't mention anything about the woke stuff in this video because I have tons of videos on that. I don't even need to link one above. You can literally just look up Survivor Spencer woke and a bunch will come up. But what do you think is the most important thing about this season in this new era? What is going to be pivotal for this new era to make it good or bad? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm sure you guys being a weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's what I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.